What's up, dudes? Chicks? What's up? What's up?
Hey, sorry I've been away. Let me pan this back so we can get a little room in here. How's everybody been? I hope good. Hope you're not out there not helping people. So I think this video is going to be named, garage sale scores, dude. You know what I mean? Alright. So I'm going to save this bad chicken for later. You know what I mean? Ooh, get a peek in there. Alright. So I'll tell you the stories here. We'll go from worst to best, I guess. But check this out. This was a coat I ended up making into some guitar straps. It was really kind of fun to do. And I also used it on the bench over there to pad for my guitars. $1 at a yard sale. I've used it for a lot of things. Really a cool little thing. Alright. So this isn't, I guess, a yard sale, but kind of the same thing. I go to auctions once in a while. Look at this. $5. 12AX7A Sylvanias. These are gray plates, matched. Probably worth a couple $100. I'm gonna guess. Probably a couple $100. Might be more. Matched and brand new in the box. Real super crunchy goodness. 12AX7 gray plates from Sylvania. I've learned over the years are really, really good with crunchiness. So sorry about the background fan noise there. It's October here and it's hotter than the sun. So went to a yard sale, and that's another trick, guys and girls. Check that out. What do you think? What do you think? So when you go to yard sales, don't just go up there and look around. Go up and ask them. Say, hey, you got any old vacuum tubes or radio equipment? This was $1. $1. All right? Got it for $1. Inside was a bunch of 12AX7s. And I think a 12AT7. But let me tell you the story about the 12AX7 that came out of that thing. It was a Telefunken, a really, really killer Telefunken. And I'll talk while I'm getting this other box. And the Telefunken cannot be identified. It's a gold lettered gold pin Telefunken. It's a Telefunken. And Telefunken. And they're very prized tube, very good for warming up amplifiers. Just absolutely killer for warming up an amp. Super tons of dynamics, just a killer tube. But this particular one was so phenomenal that I put it in my tube preamp. I put it in my microphone preamp, which I'm not using right now, and the audio sucks, and I'm very sorry for that. So we'll move on. Now, this tube was so percussive, I sent pictures of it to my buddy and my tube guru Dave, who sells and has thousands of vacuum tubes, and we still cannot identify that tube. And he told me he thought it was worth a ton of money, but it's only one, and it's not an NOS tube. So I put it in my microphone preamp, and it's just amazing what it does. So you never know what you can find for $1. And the rest of the tubes that I got out of that little guy, this again, as we're talking about, the rest of the tubes that I got out of this were also worth some money. I got some RCAs out of it, and there was a couple of tubes stuffed in the bottom in a plastic bag, which I have found that many times. So it was a killer score, and it was $1. So check this out. Walked up to an old feller and got to talking to him, and this is funny on its own. And I said, I'm repairing amps and this and that, and he says, well, you're a guy after my own heart. I got a box of old tubes left, and he gave them to me. Okay, look at this. Now, I've already found 2 killer 12AX7s out of there, and there's a bunch of other stuff in here that I might give to buddies or trade around or whatever, but there's so many tubes in here, it's just crazy. These aren't 12AX7s, these are much smaller. Can't even see what those are because I'm half blind. Anyways, but there's all kinds of tubes in there. What these are, no idea. Maybe I can sell them on eBay. But some pretty killer old tubes. These are RCAs. Whether they're good or not, I don't know. But they're pretty cool. Right? So again, check that out. Free. That's the best price in the world. It was really fun. And then he says, I told him that I was out of solder and I was going to go up and grab some solder. And he goes, oh, let me give you some solder. And he literally pulls this off of a roll and goes, here, you can have this. I pulled it off of my roll for you. It was kind of tangled up. So real sweet old guy. And it was really cool. He gave them to me. And we took him back brownies. See? Do something nice for people. You see what I'm saying? All right. I saved the best for last, boys and girls. This is why you go to yard sales. So I'm up tooling around with the wife, and look what we find. Look at that. Look at these. A whole box of GE 12AX7s. Killer tube. I've used, put them in a couple of my amps, and they just sound amazing. Look at that. So here's the story. As I pull the drawers out, dun 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 dun. So check this out. When I got this thing, there wasn't a tube missing out of it. There was a couple of old pieces of paper in it where a guy had jotted down, information. He was working on TVs or whatever with it. And it was really fun to go through, And it was somebody's life. Somebody carried this in the back of their car, and went around and fixed stuff with it. And I just think there's this hell of a piece of history here. And I'd like to keep this box, but I don't need all these tubes, and I'd like them to go to somebody that could use them. So I may put them up on eBay or see if any of my friends need them, or even my buddy Dave. But I've taken, I don't know, maybe 20 other 12AX7s, 12ATs, and 12AUs, and 12AV7s. And it's just been a blast to go through. There was some power tubes in here, and there was some old lights and capacitors, and I don't even know what this is. Let's see what this is. This is why it's so fun to go through this stuff. Oh, look at that. An old meter he probably had in here for something. Isn't that cool? And old U.S. Navy, some tubes in 48. I found some light bulbs and some crazy stuff. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Anyways, and somewhere somebody wants this stuff or needs this stuff. This is Tektronix. I don't know what this is either. I don't know what that is. Probably a light. Nope, it's a tube. Somebody somewhere needs that. Kind of cool, huh? Anyways, I don't probably end up selling a bunch of this stuff because you just end up with too much of it. But there's some money to be made here, and one of the tubes even had U.S. Navy on it. It was bigger than this. What in God's name that thing is, I have no idea. It says it is an 829B. 829B. It's RCA. It looks brand new. Isn't that cool? But I found some bigger tubes in here. I mean, huge 300s and some other crazy stuff. So it was a lot of fun going through this. So name of this video is don't forget to go to yard sales. Maybe an auction or two. Never know what you find. Nowadays, people looking at stuff like this at the auction, they'll sell it to you for $5. In fact, I might put those in an amp tomorrow. So I'm going to leave them out on the bench. But sorry I've been away, guys and gals, and I'll try to shoot some videos on some stuff I'm working on. And I will be back with you more often. The truth is, we had a little girl, and I apologize for being away. And when I tell you there was a reason, we had a little girl. And so that took some time, and it took some time as adjustment because it wasn't something we were planning to do, and it was way late in my life to do that. So it kind of set some hiccups in our life. So we're getting through all that, and it's beautiful. And her name is Halen Melody, and I'll show you guys some pictures of her soon. So if you guys want to see some other stuff I'm working on, some stuff I scored at yard sales, hang on just one second. Show you some other stuff I'm working on here. Look at here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Let me shut this cabinet up. But I just tacked these in the other day. Remember, don't touch this stuff if you don't know what you're doing. You can die. Wouldn't be cool to die while you're working on your amp. Do it at your own risk. But I put some mustard caps in here. Change the tone. It's kind of a fun little amp. It's called the Union Jack. So hopefully I'll shoot some videos on that soon. Got a lot of pedals on the bench I'm working on, modifying, screwing around with. Here's another box of tubes. These are for my majors. Oh, hey, cool. Check this out. See that down there? All of this stuff here, not the Kemper, but that and that. So I bought that about a year ago, and it is a Macintosh. Check this out. It's a Macintosh. Let's see if I can get it in there. 2100. See that? It's a Macintosh 2100, and it's a solid state amp. And I know I'm not real great into solid state stuff, but I asked the guy how much he wanted for it, and I almost fell over when he said $60. 60 or 65 bucks. And they're worth a considerable amount of money. Pick this up. I think I paid $5 for that. So this is why you go to yard sales and stuff, guys. I forgot all about these. So I'm glad I got to show them to you. And so I'll show you the rig that I'm working on. This is my rig. One of them. With the Kemper. And there's the Sebago. And then I'll pan over here. This is the transformers I had wound for the Marshall Major. These things are massive. I mean massive. I don't know if that gives a good... God, I can't even move the freaking things. How big they are. I mean, they are huge. Really, really big. And this is the Marshall Major I've been working on. And I've got two of these in the shop. Check that out. Red plate amps. Effects loop. Now I know how to build that effects loop. And this is the Marshall Major. I've got some problems in here I'm dealing with. These are all new. And I just tacked them in here just to hold them in place to find out what I wanted. I've moved this value around a bunch, and I've put new mustard caps in here, and finding these were very tough. That's a Philips 330, but that's the Marshall Major on the inside. And these I just tacked in here because I'm not sure that I'm going to keep those in there. They're Spragues, but the resistors that were in the they have these pancake resistors that were part of the old tube sockets. So I replaced the tube sockets and then took those pancake resistors out and put these in there. And these are 330s, 330 ohms at like 10 watts. And the old ones were 250s. So it gives a little bit of protection to the grid, and we can get into that later, but there's a little protection to the grid. Along with being Spragues, they're pretty good. These are NOS, and I got them off of eBay. They were quite expensive. But I think I got a bad leg in this transformer. And the reason I think that is because the voltage here on this leg is way low. And this was a resistor that was burned. So I'm wondering if that's where I have a problem in this amp. So I've been chasing that around for a while, but I've been so busy I haven't been able to spend a lot of time on it. So I apologize for not being able to spend more time with this. But as I make improvements on this amp, I also got a bad switch here, and I got to replace that. So remember, don't forget to go to yard sales. That's the back of that tube caddy. And those things, I can't wait to put in something, right? These things are huge. So for Tone Lives and all my buddies out there, so look at the bench. Try to keep it nice and tidy as best I can. I got so much going on over there. Oh, I got one other thing I could show you guys as far as yard sales are concerned. Here's the Marshalls. Got crap hanging everywhere from the ceilings. Check this out. Got this at a yard sale for $5. Look at that. We're kind of screw known to mankind. Kinds of fuses. And I think I might have paid, I don't know, $5 a piece for these. But there's $1,000 worth of screws in there. They're all stainless beveled screws. Look at all this electrical stuff I got. So, that's why you go to yard sales. Don't forget to help a kid. Love you guys. And I'll be back as soon as I can. That's the best I can promise. Help somebody, man. Do the right thing. Go sing a song for an old person. You know how to do this stuff? Have fun with it. Alright. And you rock. Because you rock. The last picture of Majors. Some goodness right there. Alright guys. Good night.